Hey there, Synthrones. Today I want to talk about the video I did last week called I Quit. I want to give you an update. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell so you can keep up with all of my synth adventures. I would love each and every one of you guys here. And please consider supporting me over at patreon.com/Pure Ambient Drone, where I have a lot of stuff that I don't include on this channel. All right, well, an update concerning last week's video, I Quit. Before this video is over, please hang around because there's a song at the end of this video that I really want to share with you guys. And this song means a lot to me. So if you guys could hang around for the end of this video long enough to listen to it and give me your thoughts, it would mean a lot to me. You know, I was really shocked at the amount of comments and love that I experienced reading through the comments. It was just amazing. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for your kind words. And I want to clarify that I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, and I don't think anybody does. I think a lot of you clearly expressed that you actually can relate to a lot of the stuff that I talked about in that video. For those of you who have not seen the video, you may want to skip back and take a watch on that first before you continue with this one. But I did leave some things out, and my son, you know, when he watched the video, he said, you know, Dad, you should do an update on the video because so much has happened that you kind of left out in that video there, so you should include it. And some people might think that it's interesting to hear about it. So, you know, I went through this divorce back in 2005, and I basically lost everything. And I know some of you guys already heard this because you obviously watched the video. But what I didn't share with you is that 7 years later, after my divorce, my ex-wife had actually got back in contact with me 7 years later. And she wanted to be friends, and she was making a great effort to be my friend. And I got to be honest with you, I ran into her at a local post office, and I tried to avoid her. When I got out of the vehicle, I noticed her coming towards me, and I really tried to get back to my car as quickly as possible. I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I just didn't know how to face her. I didn't know what to say, and I was angry. But she cut me off at the pass, and she insisted that I speak with her, and she kept saying she was sorry. And she did everything but get down on her knees and grab a hold of my leg to hold me there. Some of it, I have to admit, it felt kind of, I don't know, redeeming maybe. It's kind of hard to explain when somebody rejects you, when somebody leaves you, when somebody hurts you, and they come back and they're groveling is what it was. There's no other word for it. There's a certain amount of satisfaction that as a human being, I'm going to admit I felt. But my heart was still broken, and there was no way I was ever going to trust this woman again. Well, it turns out that I had met somebody just prior to us becoming closer friends, my ex and I becoming closer friends. And I was speaking with who is now my future wife. But I wasn't intending on dating anybody at that time, believe me. I did not want to get married ever again, and I had sworn off marriage. So you guys know how that turned out. She's my wife now. But my ex-wife, she stayed in contact with me, and one day she called me up, and she started asking me if I would be interested in coming back to her, if she and I could have a second chance. And this was really confusing for me because I was already having feelings for my now wife. I want you to just kind of imagine yourself in my shoes. I'm trying to move on with my life, and now my ex-wife, who left, who betrayed me, who hurt me beyond description, is now talking with me about coming back and getting remarried. There was just one problem. She was married to the guy that she ran off with. and she had a kid with him. And I know that you guys, some of you might think that I'm a little nuts about what I'm going to say here in a second, but I got to be honest with you. I couldn't do that to that guy. I couldn't do to him what he did to me. So I started asking her questions. Why are you talking like this to me when you know that you're married to this guy and you're the mother of his child? Now, her and I, we hadn't had any children together. She was actually my second wife, which was even more painful because I was feeling like a total failure at losing 2 marriages. Just totally not getting it, I guess. I don't know. You know, my first wife, I left her. And my second wife, she left me. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? Now my ex-wife wants to be my wife again. And she started saying all these negative things about the guy that she ran off with and who she's now married to, her and her, her husband and everything. Now, this is the part you're really going to think I'm crazy about. Why I'm crazy. I guess I might be crazy, but I don't know. But the other part of me is as bad as I felt and as angry as I had felt when those two ran off with each other, I got to thinking to myself, I can't do this to him. And it'll be worse for him because he has a child. I can't be the other guy. I didn't like it when he did it to me. How can I do it to him? So you know what I did? I gave her marriage counseling. I spent about an hour and a half on the phone telling her why she should stay married and just listening to her problems and trying to give her, I don't know if you would call it advice, but some input, and made it very clear that I wasn't coming back to her, but that I really cared about what was going on in her life and her marriage. I really cared about it. And I wanted to see those two succeed, to be happy, and that their child would grow up in a home that wasn't broken, that wasn't split in two, where the parents are fighting. And I spent that time with her, and she started at the end of the conversation, before the call ended, she started weeping. I don't mean just crying. I mean, she was weeping. She was very, very distraught. And I asked her, what's wrong? Why are you crying like this? And she could barely even speak, but when she was able to, she said over the phone, I know now what I lost. I lost a really good man. And I thought to myself, and I conveyed this to her, when she left, I wasn't the same person that I was when she returned back. That because she left, it gave me time to reflect on things. It gave me time to work on myself. It gave me an opportunity to see things about myself I didn't want to look at. And I told her, I said, if I was so great back then, you probably wouldn't have left. And we wouldn't be having this conversation now. So a couple of more years went by. I ended up getting married to the woman that I was dating at the time. My ex-wife was trying to reconcile with me. And I kept her in the loop about everything. I think openness and honesty is the most important thing that we can have in any relationship. And I told her after we had gotten married, my current wife, I said, I used to be in synthesizers. I used to write electronica music. I let her hear some of my old stuff. And I told her how I made track of the day for electronica on mp3.com. Some of you old timers will know that mp3.com used to be an open forum for bedroom producers. And I was on there and I made track of the day. I let her hear my stuff and she said, you should get back into that. And I told her, I said, my ex-wife, she had a lot of problems with me doing my music. And it caused some of our problems that we had. And I don't want to do that again. Producing music takes a lot of time away from a marriage. And it takes a lot of attention away from the spouse. And my wife said, I didn't marry you just to have your attention 24 hours a day. I married you to be happy with you. And I know that you married me to be happy with me. And if music is what makes you happy and I stand in the way of that, then this isn't a real marriage. After that, I decided that I was going to get one keyboard and see how it goes. And that was actually the Roland FA06, which I still have today. And the very first day that I had that keyboard, I wrote about my pain. I wrote about my hurt, my rejection, my loss. I reflected back on not just my ex-wife, not just the lonely time that I spent by myself up here, but other past hurts from friends and loved ones and lovers. And I realized something. A lot of times when people say goodbye to you, they say, "I love you," just before they leave. So my first song that I wrote that day was entitled, "Don't Tell Me." And I want to share that song with you guys here today. So if you wouldn't mind hanging around and listening to it, it would mean a lot to me. After I did the I Quit video, I decided to release this song. Up until now, it was never released before. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope it speaks to a lot of you.
Just like a gentle rain that turns into a mist, so goes our love too. It surely will be missed. You love me, I know it's just a lie. Dry your eyes, my darling, let our love softly die. Don't tell me that you love me, I know it's just a lie. Dry your eyes, my darling, I love